Hello, welcome back. I'm Caroline and I own and run Gorgeous Yarns, a natural dye company based here in the UK. Following on from the last video, which was about scouring, today I'm going to talk to you about mordanting yarn. We need to mordant yarn because it helps the dye to fix permanently to the fibre. Some natural dyes have their own built-in mordant, if you like, and they're the tannins. Often they come from trees. This is buckthorn bark, and that has its own tannin. And these are walnut shells from the nuts of walnuts, and they also have natural tannin, and tannin acts as a mordant. Today we're going to use alum and cream of tartar. Alum is the short name for aluminium sulfate. Dyes can be divided into three groups. There are the substantive dyes like buckthorn bark and walnuts that actually have their own built-in mordant. Then a large group of dyes are the adjective dyes. They're the ones that don't have a natural mordant and they need a bit of help to fix to the yarn. Then there are the fugitive dyes, and they do exactly what fugitive means. They run away and hide. And these are things like strawberries, blackberries, elderberries. They won't fix to the yarn even if you prepare the yarn with a mordant. They just don't have the right collection of molecules to fix permanently. You won't get a lovely purple colour from blackberries. You'll get a sort of grey shade and it will quickly fade. So this is the yarn that I prepared previously. That's already been scoured and it's been dried. And this is the yarn that we're going to use today, and I'm already pre-soaking it. I've also added some scoured silk ribbon as well. This method for mordanting applies to all protein fibres, anything that comes from an animal, including silk. So I'm going to use the formula of 8%. I've got 400 grams of yarn in there, so I need 8% of 400 grams. So 4 eighths are 32. So I add 32 grams of alum. Tiny bit more. And that is then added to this pot of warm water. Always add a powder to a liquid, not the other way around. I'm just going to sprinkle that on the surface like that. Now I also use cream of tartar, and when it's in solution that makes tartaric acid, and acid helps brighten natural dye colours. You don't have to use it, but I do because I like that bright clear colour that the cream of tartar gets. So strictly speaking, it's not a mordant, it's an add-on to a mordant. And I'm going to use 10% of this, so that's going to be 40 grams. I like to keep spoons and jugs just for mordanting. So as you can see, that spoon's marked alum and the jug is also just for alum. That goes into the water as well. And I've also got a stirring spoon just for alum. So we'll stir it up so it dissolves. And then I'm going to add the silk, which weighs virtually nothing, and the 400 grams of yarn. And the pot needs to be big enough so that the fibre can move freely, so that all of the fibre gets immersed in the mordant solution. So just 2 more to go. Like that. Last one. And then I'll give it a final stir just to make sure all of the fibres are submerged, and then put the lid on. And that will then heat through for about an hour at 80 to 100 degrees. Don't worry about your yarn felting. It only felts if you subject it to a very sudden temperature change. So if this was freezing cold and I then put it into boiling water, it would felt. Imagine how you would feel if you went from a really hot sauna and jumped into a freezing cold lake in Norway. You'd go, and that's exactly what the fibre does. That's what felting is. Once the yarn is mordanted and then rinsed, it's ready to dye. And this is a dye pot that I'm preparing. It's actually chamomile. You can see the chamomile flowers there, and it gives a lovely yellow. But that's a dye pot for next time. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. It makes all the difference. Look forward to talking to you soon.